why would you make a statement?
For someone that owes you.
For somebody that owes you,
someone
okay?
in the customer waiting room that has accounts receivable.
Correct. So those are somewhat connected. They're basically saying you don't even hit the AR or your accounts receivable, the customer waiting room, unless you have an invoice that has not physically been paid. Okay, which is a great reason why you do a statement to then get your money back.
Right.
Okay, perfect. We'll just switch gears and head right that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the home page here, and because we're in the My Favorites interface, that's perfect. We'll scroll down to Customers, and we'll look for the Receivables home page. We'll click right on it. Click. So currently it says I've got both Brandon and Cheryl, and this is going to be a hard one. You don't want to do this, okay? This is a warning, a counter sale, and they technically owe me $20 more. Who am I going to go after to get that?
No clue.
No clue, okay? So if you start doing any sort of extending terms or credit or anything like that, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you put it under a customer thing. If I go back to this invoice, okay, it happened on 12/28 of 12, okay, so that's way long ago. We'd have to go see what it was about. Oh, this was a ruffled bodice for such and such and such. Sounds definitely kind of seamstressy. And then they paid just $5 cash, but I have no clue how to go get this. I would have to then go check history, who made this thing. Looks like it was Adilas demo way back at that particular time. They just kind of did a small deposit, but like, good luck.
Yeah.
You're chasing your tail there. Okay, so we're just backing up a couple times. We're back at the receivables homepage, and we have some information here. Current. This means 1 to 30 days. 30 to 60 days, 60 to 90 days, and over 90. Do you want to go right to their log? Do you want to go right to their apply payments? Do you want to see what they have paid? Let's check on Brandon. I know we have some payment history here. Sweet. Invoice 6, 7, and 8. He's paid a little bit of different things for a total of $225, but he's invoiced total for $314. Okay, that's great. It gives you good information on what's going on over time and such. Okay. Statements. If you wanted to create a statement, say you're like, okay, Brandon, you know what? I need to get this $89 that you owe me. This is how easy it is to create a statement. You do have to have the permission for statements. If you don't, you won't even have this link. You just click Statements, and it basically what it did is it brought me to the statement homepage. Okay. What it also did behind the scenes is way up here in the URL address, it actually pulled in my customer ID number for Brandon Moore. Okay, like you don't have to know this, but what it was doing is instead of just taking you to the statement homepage and say you have tons of statements, it's filtering it by like, do you have any for Brandon within this date range? And it technically was actually doing for the whole year right now. Okay, so currently we have 0 statements for Brandon at this point, but it automatically pulled it in saying, hey, let's filter this by Brandon's information. You don't even need to worry about that number. That was passed in behind the scenes to help you so you didn't have to manage it, okay? So all I did was just the Show Hide Search Criteria button, and it just collapsed that little part of the thing. We're going to say Create a New Statement, and we know that it was just in the last little bit, so we'll just do 9/1 to 9/25. Is it 25 today? Okay, build a statement. So what this does is a kind of a multi-step process, but you already know who the customer is, you knew what the date range was. It now pulls it in and starts saying, okay, what other information can I get from you? Okay. Currently it has multiple payments. This one was paid, this one was paid, this one was pending, and it shows me what is still owed on all of these different pieces. If you don't want to include some of the ones that are already paid, literally it's this easy. Click. And then it won't generate that as part of the statement. One thing that I do want to mention about a statement is virtually, it's going to say, I need a due date. I just saw that. No problem. Say we wanted this back by the 10/15 of 13. Okay? And we'll just say, add that statement. Go. So it only pulled in the 2 that I had clicked and checked, okay? You can send it off in the mail, and they can send it back just so that you kind of knew who it was and what's coming back. You can save it as a PDF and actually email it to somebody. You can do boom, you just click on Save as PDF. It takes that whole thing, takes it, crunches it, filters it. Here's your nice looking PDF that you literally can send to the person, and they're good to go on that type of thing. You'd have to save and attach it to an email address. Okay, so the important thing to know about a statement is once you actually get money to come back here on this one that is still owed on, you actually don't go to the statement to reapply that payment. Why would that be?
The statement's just more, I would say, picture, like a snapshot of time of this is how much you owe me. It just shows that you're applying the payment to the invoice where it's actually based from.
Okay, correct. So inside of Adilas, if we got money, we do not apply it to the physical statement. We actually go to the invoices themselves and apply it there, and then we deposit from the invoices. Mm-hmm. And what it does is the next time you take a snapshot, it will have different numbers. Okay, but literally think of a statement as a snapshot to collect money. It's basically a summation, if you will, of what you've done for that particular person. So that's how it works. I'll just go back to the statement homepage. Here's the one that you can tell that this is a play site. Like no one's even created hardly any statements at all. Like this is ID number 1 type of thing. However, if I was back at my receivables homepage, Brandon still owes me the $89, but if I click on statements now, it'll filter it down to just the statements that I have for him. So remember how this one right here just had the 2 of them? Watch this. I can do a brand new one, and we'll do it pretty fast. We'll just go 9/1 to 9/25. Just plunk in those dates again. We'll click here. We'll come down. We'll say, hey, the due date. This one's going to actually be on the same thing, 10/15. And I'm going to leave all 3 of them selected. Add the statement. Click. So now if I go to my statement homepage, I technically have 2 of them. Okay. They may not even look different, but one has 2 line items, one has 3 line items. But basically, it's just a snapshot in time. In the meantime, things are still running in the background over time, like your actual invoices and the aging and how old those are and stuff. So that's what happens there. Any other questions on statements? We have had some requests to be able to do that in bulk, and we are looking into that, but that is just currently at the requested level right now, not a funded project. So any other things that we needed to cover on? We lightly covered on, I want to show you one other cool thing that's important for customers, okay? So let's actually go here to the home page. We're going to come down to customers, and we're going to go to the customer homepage. There's a super cool link, and it's found probably 6 or 7 places throughout all of your things. If you wanted to get a summation of like who has paid you the most money, there's one little link right here. If you click on it, it'll come through it and say, oh, here's how many Brandon's done. Here's totally what he's done. This is almost like a miniature receivables portion, but it gathers in all of the data all at once. It basically groups it together. Oh, looks like, wow, currently Brandon is my best customer. It's $314 and this and this and this. You can actually filter this. If you don't want it filtered by this, you wanted it filtered by other things, you go like this. Click. Technically, look where it actually drops you off into. Okay, we got to this from the customer page, but look at, we're actually technically in the advanced invoice search. If we come down here, we could actually say, why don't you sort this by the, let's go the smallest amount first and search it again. Click. So now it just reversed that order, and now I'm at the bottom. But like, you can get into all sorts of stuff. If you wanted to see Brandon's details, literally you just go like this. Click. Now I'm into Brandon's details. Oh, check it out. Printable. You go deeper and deeper and deeper because it's all data that exists there. This is technically called a drill down. If you wanted to even see deeper, say you're like, cool, I want to even go deeper. Let's go to history. Here's what happens. It was tied to element of time 2. Oh, looks like I used the applied payment thing, and I applied this. The total applied payment was for $150, and then I could even backtrack it if I needed to from there. So like, you've got tons of different levels you can go into dealing with the customer stuff. Okay, the other thing that I think would be a very valuable thing, because a lot of people use customers lots. Okay, Shannon, we're going to go to the quick search for customers, and I'm going to have you read it. Okay. So watch this. Any page you're on, it doesn't make a lick of difference. If you want to find the help file for the quick search, you go like this. Any page, you just hit help, and then you basically go like this. Quick search help. Okay? It'll kind of show you that there's two different versions. This is what we call the mini version. This is more the extended version. It just kind of writes it out for you. This is the older or classic one that we started with, and then we added this one to each and every page. Okay? This little graphic right here kind of explains how Adilas is organized. Okay? Usually you start from the hub or the home page, okay? And then you bounce into the next level, which is a sub-home page. So for instance, main home page, customer home page. Then what's available within that? You have advanced searches, you have all these different reports, and then way out here, this is where you get the data, and this can expand for as far as you need it, but we had to kind of close it in for a graphic. Every single piece of the puzzle is done this way, and what we've done is the quick search allows you to go from anywhere, so you could technically be over here in expenses on a piece of data, on an expense, maybe it was a reimbursement, and if you wanted to and you knew how to jump over here, you could transfer clear over here to a customer, or over here to a smaller search, or to the advanced or the home page, or like, you could literally, you could bounce all across this grid by using the thing called the quick search. So Shannon, we're going to scroll down till we get to customers, and I'm going to have you read kind of this little paragraph right here.
Okay. The word customer is a qualified setting and may be changed for a business entity. The search options for customers are new, search and add new customer, home, go to the main customer homepage, ADB, short for go to the advanced search, all, show a printable list of all customers, last, get the last customer entered by you, numeric, actual customer ID number, and general alphanumeric search any part of the customer name or phone number. The general customer search is a great way to start a new shopping cart or element of time for a specific customer. As a special side note, by doing a general customer search, you are also able to search the customer tax ID field, virtual license number field, the cell phone field, the home phone, the work phone, and email address field. All of these quick searches are done by doing a basic or general alphanumeric customer search.
Awesome. So what we're going to do really quick, just to kind of show you this in action, is we're going to go home, and we're going to find this right here.
890.
890?
Yeah.
Okay, boom. Okay, I can't even see that details right here, but if I go into our log right here and I go Control F, and I go 890, okay, boom, found it right there. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we just did, excuse me, I can tell I'm going to cough here. It's kind of that season of the year. Maybe what I will have you do, Shannon, if you're okay with it, just so I can take a break, why don't you come up and use just a quick search and pop through home, new, last, advanced.
Sure.
Go find an email address, go find a phone number, go actually look for a physical ID number or something.
Okay, I don't think we added any emails because we put them through so fast, but we'll go through a couple of those other ones. So let's go all. Oh, not all with an S, all without the S. So we have just 3 customers, so we won't see too many here. But let's see, we've got customer, let's go to the advanced. So that takes us right to the advanced. Customer search, so we could detail this out a lot. For us, that's obviously not very practical because we only have 3 customers. But for thousands of customers, this would be so important. You could.
Okay, so one of the really important pieces of this one is this actually exports to Excel. So if you needed something, see the thing that says report format? It's right by the button. Scroll down just a little bit.
Down farther?
Right there. No, it's right above your button right now.
Oh, right here.
Yes. This is how you export something to Excel. Cool. And you can even pick and choose which columns you wanted on that export.
That's really, really neat.
This is a build your own report basically right here. And then you can filter any of the fields. So it kind of makes it nice.
Yeah, that's really neat. You could pull anything out and have someone ship off mailers or I don't know, whatever you would do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really, really neat. Okay, home takes us right to the customer homepage, which we saw these searches before. ADB, all home, last. Looks like Cheryl's the last customer we put in.
and it's the person who put it in.
Right. Adilas demo.
So if I was logged in as me and I hit last, it would be the last one that I did. If you did last, it's the last one that you did.
Right. Right. So new, we could put in a new customer, but that takes us really to the customer homepage as well.
Basically, you have to search first.
Exactly.
Like say, okay, cool. I imagine you're going to want to search. It's all good. It jumps you in there.
Which is great. We could look for any kind of numeric. So I put ER, came up with Cheryl, but I could put SA, Sally. So we can search anything. I'm just trying to see.
By LY.
I think we've got a couple lanes in there.
Oh, that's probably any different. Oh, you're trying. It's actually trying to. It doesn't search the address. It searches.
Got it.
Phone, email, the license number, and the names. If you wanted to search address, you could go to the advanced search.
Right, and search address
search
there.
from address on that part.
Okay. Good stuff. Did you want to search for anything else?
No, I just wanted to kind of show it. If you're okay, I'll actually have you keep going and kind of. I can feel some more coughs coming on. But,
No problem. Where are we going to from here?
Well, what we wanted to do next is basically we covered lightly on elements of time, customers, and FlexGrid. So I would like to detail out either FlexGrid or elements of time, just go a little deeper into some of those subjects. Can I have that water right there?
Definitely. Do you want us to go to the FlexGrid homepage?
Yeah, let's go to the FlexGrid homepage for a second. And let's go to the help file. Okay. Multiple times we've kind of read some of these little captions and such. Just for fun, let's actually skip that this time and go down a little deeper. And I want to show you some other kind of fun stuff, okay? So what I'd like you to do, Shannon, is just kind of come down the page. You don't have to read it, but I'd like you to kind of just at least read the highlighted sections. Kind of, oh, this says this. And I just want to show you, FlexGrid to some people is like, oh my goodness, I don't even want to touch it. Basically, this is your own custom database or virtual buddy system on top of Adilas. And Shannon, maybe you could even tell them, just the other day, we were doing some bank reconciliation. We found a check that had gone through, and it was actually a duplicate check.
Mm-hmm.
And so the bank charged us twice, and so we had no record of it, but we had to create a record in order to match the bank, and then we had to go back and figure out all these different things. Maybe you could even explain, like, oh my goodness, we were using FlexGrid here. Just kind of some of your ideas, but I would like to go down the help file and just at least read the bold captions of the help
Yeah,
file.
definitely. I think the thing that was helpful for that circumstance with the duplicate check and then trying to record it in your system was that we were able to go put FlexGrid on every piece that came up so that you could link it back to anything else. So we tied our expense to the check that we found, and we tied it to the page where you could see the photo gallery where things were in balance. And so we were able to tie it to everything. So the minute you landed on any piece of the puzzle, you could see that there was a FlexGrid that said, see this expense, or see this balance sheet item, or I'm not exactly sure what we tied it to. But the great thing was you can tie it everywhere. So it doesn't matter what you show up on, you realize, oh, there's something else tied to that, or oh, there's another player. And it had links to those, so you could automatically link right to that.
Correct. That's kind of called like a relationship, okay? So scroll down. Let's actually have you read the first bolded part right there, and that'll kind of sum it up in a way.
Definitely. A couple of the main uses of the FlexGrid are to record a user-maintained history note, so extra details or log notes, record and use one or more of the 15 possible custom fields, so that's recording custom items under any of these 12 players. So each one has the potential to expand to 15 for each of these green players. Tie pieces, different objects together. Example, this invoice to that expense receipt, this customer to that PO, etc. So that would be maybe not a normal relationship, tying a customer to a PO, but if you needed that to happen, like you said, with people growing plants, maybe they want it detailed out to what customers those are going to. So that would be a special relationship you could make. Or also normal relationships, or even tying customers to other customers. So
Correct. So in the example that we had with the check, we actually knew that the original expense went through in February of this year, but the new one went through in September or August of this year. So we actually had expense receipt, let's call it 12, and then expense receipt number 400. Okay, who knows what the real numbers were, but we were tying expense receipt to kind of show the duplication process of what happened with those checks and stuff. So you don't have to go from player to player. It can technically be within its own group there.
Yeah, which is really neat. I mean, the ability to tie anything together that you need. Like you said, a custom database, a custom relationship that you can make for anything. So it's really cool. Getting started, there's basic information, information about FlexGrid tie-ins. So making buddy assignments and tying things together, creating custom things. We did that with our sewing project. We wanted to track people's measurements. We did that earlier with Joe today as well when we wanted to track people's weights for the balls, their bowling balls. Possible examples of how the FlexGrid may work. So these are logs or talking more in depth about the custom fields, how you might have them play or things you might want to track, sub-tie-ins, tying things together, so connecting it to other invoices, expense receipts, POs, statements, whatever you want to tie it to.
So Shannon, you even use the FlexGrid to modify your class list for your sewing project.
Yeah, that was great.
So that was super simple. We have one custom field called paid status. We also used a sub connection, which invoice were they connected to.
Yep.
So that was actually mixing a few of those little pieces.
Definitely. Yeah. Elements of time, and then we kind of FlexGridded that together with the invoices, and it gave us an idea of how full our class was. No, that was great.
So there's a kind of funny, if you are a redneck, sometimes we say that FlexGrid is like having duct tape. Duct tape and baling twine.
You can do anything with duct tape and baling twine. I use those tools a lot.
It's also a precursor. Sometimes we will use FlexGrid temporarily until we actually figure out like what the real flow is. It's a very quick temporary patch in some ways. So it has great power. It has great power. Let's actually have you go back, and I'd actually like you to jump into your pajama class and just kind of show them how we used a teeny bit of FlexGrid. So that was an element of time.
Pajama class.
Here's our pajama class.
This is pajama class, and we'll just go in. So here's our FlexGrid tie-in. So we tied that with customers because we wanted to see who's coming to our class. We actually charged them for it, so these are the invoices, and then if they had paid or not. So Cheryl just reserved a spot in the class. She's intending to pay there, and Sally and Brandon paid in advance. But we only had 5 seats available, so for us it was important to track how many were coming.
Perfect. Okay, so I want you to do this. Just for fun, we're going to also play with FlexGrid. Click on invoice number 8 for just a second. Okay, now click on more options. We're going to get into Brandon's information. Go to his customer log. Go to the bottom of that. There is another piece of FlexGrid that has nothing to do with the last one, as far as invoice this or that, but this is actually tied to a customer. And this has Brandon's measurements, or these fictitious ones that we put in there. But, like, once you know what's going on, you can literally wrap the whole thing up, and like there's no rules, and so you technically get to create your own relationships.
Yeah, which is really neat because it's not like since you use FlexGrid for all these measurements, you can't use it again. You could use it as many times as you want for as many things as you want.
Correct.
Right? So I mean, like you said, there's no rules. Anything you want to. Well, there are some rules, but basically it's so flexible. You can do whatever you need.
You can also export that if you needed to. So say you got a data point and it had, instead of say 48 inches, say it was physically a number of 48 and you needed to add that up because it meant something. Well, the FlexGrid may not know that you want to add that. It'll just hold that data point. It's kind of somewhat static in that way. It just holds the data. You export it to Excel and all of a sudden you run your own little function. You're able to do whatever you want to do on that. Okay.
I'm just seeing where I would export it from.
Okay, no problem. Click back one time. I'll show you. Okay, so technically right now you're on Brandon's records, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you go up to the top and you go to the View Standalone FlexGrid Tie-in link, okay, what this does is it filters it down. Now there's actually a little thing that says Filter Results. Okay, scroll down to the bottom, change the report type to Excel, and boom, you have the exact information that you just put into Excel right there. Boom. Just like that. That's how you would do it.
Okay.